Alright, be starting in just a second. And we should be live right now. Alrighty, just give me a second to set that up. There we go. Alright, so we're going to be doing the flight planning for our short little VFR. I say short, it should be about an hour. Little VFR flight. We're going to be going from Savannah, Georgia down to Folkestone, Georgia, 3 Juliet 6. This is the route I normally take for this. Don't know what direction those showers are well, they seem to be moving southwest. Let's look at that real quick. Observations, radar. Yeah, they're moving southwest. They shouldn't be a factor though. They just smaller storms. I don't think they'll be too big of an issue. All right. So I already know that that's the route I want to take. That's a pretty easy route. I can keep track of my navigation with these islands and sounds right here. Got a VOR on it, so I know where I'm going to be at all times on this route. Alternatively, if we have to go with something else, we could go around the restricted areas through the Samoa here, following the railroad tracks and the highway down. That'll get us there. And we have three ways we have 3 ways we can go: this way, or this way. So we have options on this route. Let's figure out our altitude. Now the area forecast tool is not working today for some reason. It keeps 404ing whenever you click on it. So we're just going to have to use the text forecast for now. But we want central and southeastern Georgia, so scattered 5,000, 0100 Zulu, scattered, outlook VFR. So pretty clear at 6,000. Now southeast, they're broken 4,500, overcast at 6,000, topping at 8,000. Isolated light showers at 2300 Zulu. It's currently 2134. They'll become scattered at 5,000. At 0300 Zulu, which is at night, be scattered, outlook VFR. So it's relatively clear. They're scattered 5,000. They're scattered 35. There's few at 8.5. Scattered 35. Scattered at 8. Scattered 5. Broken 7.5. Okay. So looks like the common trend is around 5,000, and it seems to be scattered. That sucks. I was hoping it would be a little higher. So we may end up going lower, but we can try for 5,000. It's southbound. Let's see. We're held relatively eastbound, so we want an even altitude. We can try for 6,500. That overcast at whatever. What was it? Overcast at, or topping at 8,000, overcast 6,000. But none of the METARs are reporting an overcast at the moment. Broken at 7.5. What's Jack's reporting? Scattered at 39, scattered at 7.5. You're few at 37. You're scattered 33, scattered 8,000. So we're going to have to go with either 4,500 or 6,500 for our cruising altitude. Let's go with 6,500 for now. I'll set that to 6,000 feet. The winds here and here, they're calm. And here they are 070 at 9. Alright. So we're going to go with 6,500. Our performance information for 6,000 feet. Temperature today, 12, and you're 11. So standard temperature at 6,000 is 3 degrees Celsius. Let's go with the above. It's roughly halfway between the two. We'll go with a 2,300 RPM cruise. I'll set the manifold pressure for 21 20. This will give us the best fuel performance. These sets right here. So it's between 11 and 10.7. True airspeed is going to be 128, no matter how we slice it. So we'll type that in, 128. Oops, wrong thing. And we're going to burn halfway between 11 and 10.7. We'll say 10. Let's go with the worst case. Let's go with 11.0. So we'll be burning 11.0 on our fuel. I don't think you can enter that in here. I think it pulls it from the data anyway. Okay, our local departure time, it's 17:38 now. Let's go with 18:15. That sound about good? 18:15, quarter after 6. We have 87 gallons of usable fuel on the airplane. So it's 87 divided by 11.0. That gives us 7.9 hours, so 0750. There'll be 2 souls on board, and our alternate will be Brunswick. Sure, Brunswick, BQK. It's fine. Alright, click here for the navlog. Oh, shoot, I gotta enter a route. What's my route here? Right there. Savannah and that waypoint. Alright, here is my navigation log. Departure bay at 22:15 Zulu. Destination, Folkestone, Georgia. 1 hour, 2 minutes en route. Fuel on board, 7 hours, 50 minutes. Souls, yada, yada, yada. And just real quick, we're going to look at we're going to have a 5-knot tailwind, it says. Sounds about right. If we cruise at, we selected altitude 6,500, this one's going to give us a 5-knot tailwind. If we can climb higher, we'll have a 5-knot tailwind. But if we go lower, we'll have no tailwind. The winds will be 0, and lower than that, we'll start having a headwind. Alright, I think we're good with that. Let's go ahead and save and return to main menu here. And this should send it to my iPad. Real quick, we're going to do a weight and balance check. Because why not? We'll be thorough pilots. Here's my airplanes, 5039er Hotel. That's what we're going with. Cessna 182/Tango, 1901. Pilots, 175. Seat 2, 135. Baggage compartment. Where's baggage compartment 1 and 2? 5 and 6. We'll go with just baggage compartment 2 then. 0 and 80 pounds. Fuel tank. Yep, that just sent it to my iPad. Fuel tank has 92 gallons of fuel in it. That's the total amount of fuel it can carry. We're going to be burning 11.5 for the trip. Actually, it's going to be 11, because it was 11, just over an hour. So 11.5 plus the 2.5 for ground ops. So 14. I'll round that up to 15. So we'll be burning 15 gallons of fuel. Is this in gallons or pounds? Gallons, okay. Press here when done. Alright, so here's our weight and balance. We'll be taking off with a CG of 40.9. 46 is the limit. We are within the envelope. 0 fuel weight puts us here. Take off here, and here's landing. Yep, we are good to go. So weight and balance looks good. Cycle 1607 procedures are available for early download. I am not going to worry about downloading them right now. Alright, so let me load my navlog up on my iPad real quick. Refresh. Download that one. And just a quick review of our trip. Let me read the northern peninsula scattered 3-5 widely scattered light showers. Okay, pretty much the same as southeastern Georgia. So we'll take off. Savannah is class Charlie. I'm probably not going to fly this flight on VATSIM. I'm most likely going to fly it offline with default ATC. So we will take off out of Savannah, whatever runway is in use. Let's find out real quick. They are reporting winds of 150 at 7, which favors runway 16. Cool. That gives us a bit of a long taxi, but we can always take off from one of these taxiways here to shorten that up a bit. So we'll be facing south. That puts us pretty much right on our route. So we'll take off out of Savannah, presuming south departure. It's class Charlie, so they'll vector us out. And we'll join our route here. I'm going to program this in the GPS, but I'm really not going to be worrying too much about sticking to it. What I'm more concerned about is just flying the course of roughly southeast. It's roughly southbound. I'm basically just going to follow the coast down until I see Brunswick. I'll be able to identify Brunswick. And then I know once I'm south of that, I'll just keep tracking south until I see Fernandina Beach. And then I'll turn over, follow State Road 40 here over to Folkestone. Shouldn't be too hard. I want to get around P50 here. That's going to be a big concern. I need to either be above 3,000 feet or go around it. Preferably go around it because 3,000 feet won't separate you by much from there, and that's a pretty sensitive area they don't want you flying over. So to help me navigate, I have all these islands and sounds. So the first one we're probably going to be able to identify as Osbaugh Island, and then St. Catherine's Sound, Cumberland Island, Sapelo Sound, Sapelo Island, Dobby Sound, Ottamaha Sound. What's this one? St. Simon's Island. Is that St. Simon's Inlet? That's the Brunswick Inlet there. Jekyll Island. Or is that Cumberland? Yeah, that's Cumberland. Wasn't that one over there, Cumberland? Oh, that's St. Catherine's. Sapelo. Cumberland Island. Fernandina Beach. Over. I'll have a road to follow here, plus several major roads I'm going to pass over, and the river. So I'm not going to get lost on this route. I've actually flown this route several times before. We'll be picking up the Cessna 182, which went in for its maintenance check, its annual maintenance here in Savannah. Also got new avionics in it, so this ought to be a good flight. All right, I see there's already at least 4 people watching the stream. How you guys doing? All right, so that looks good to me. We should be going shortly. I'm going to go put the stream in intermission, and I'll get Flight Sim up and running. Just real quick, we're going to punch in this into... Actually, no, we don't need Plan G. Close that out. We don't need that. And I'm just going to enter my weather in Kilo Sierra Alpha Victor, Kilo 3 Juliet 6, and Kilo Bravo Quebec Kilo is my alternate. Gonna enter in Kilo Sierra, or not Sierra, Kilo Juliet Alpha X-Ray here because I might need that later. The airport we're going to does not have its weather station on it, so we're gonna have to be concerned about that. The closest one is Jacksonville. All these rain showers popping up. We'll have to watch out for them if they get bigger. But I think we're good to go now, so let's get to it. Let's hop into the airplane. I'm putting the stream in intermission now. I'll see y'all in a second. Alright, flight sim's loading up. It's currently at 30%. Just give me a couple seconds to get it the airplane positioned where I want it. Once it loads up, and we will get started. It's currently at 70%. Loading the autogen scenery in. There's 90%. It's loading in the traffic now. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, load up. And 100%. Lovely A2A Cessna 182 there. Okay, let's position the aircraft where I want it, over here where the maintenance facility was. Alrighty. Just gotta pick the plane. There we go. Alright. We are positioned here at Savannah, Georgia. Let's go ahead and get everything connected. Let's connect the weather. That's the first step. Hope this works so I don't have to use my backup weather program. This one usually works though, so. K3 Juliet 6 not found. Remove the K. Sometimes it doesn't want the K there, but there isn't no weather station anywhere. Alright. Weather's connected. Let's connect up the iPad. Verify. Okay, iPad is connected. Go to Maps. Yep, it has me there. Alrighty. iPad is good to go. Alright. I'm just going to move this over here so I can see the stream chat. The F-16, I don't have an F-16 model. I'm aware of Aerosofts, but I'm not much of an F-16 type of person. I prefer my Strike Eagle. Or my Shahia Eagle, I should say. Let me just get the chat positioned where I like it. Alrighty. So, unfortunately, no, I don't think I'm going to have an F-16, not unless I buy Aerosofts. I think I may go for Falcon BMS one day, though. So, if I do get Falcon BMS, I will probably start doing the F-16. But that's the only time that would ever happen. Alright. Okay, I got the chat brought up. Let's get this airplane up and running. Okay, so let's open both doors. Go ahead and step in the cockpit. And here we are. We've just picked the aircraft up from the maintenance facility, and it's got new avionics in it. We now have a shiny new GNS 530 in here. Alrighty. So real quick, we're just going to check the maintenance logs. Excellent shape. It got an overhaul while it was in for maintenance. So the engine is reset to 0 hours with 5,889.1 hours on the airframe. No notes from the maintenance guy. Everything was fixed and ready to go. It's a little gusty. I can hear that wind gusting out there. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to reshut this door and position the camera where I like it. There. And bring this a little closer up there. What about there? Bring it back some and zoom out a little bit. There we go. Field of view. Alright, camera is positioned where I like it. Let's go ahead and get the pre-flight up and running. Alright, so take that out. Battery on, beacon, land, taxi, nav, strobe, pitot heat, avionics. Open the cow flaps, turn that on. Bring you down, but set for traffic. Reset that to 1200. Bring the flaps down. GPS isn't going to come on just yet. I am going to switch. We'll leave that on for now. Just check and make sure our lights are working. Okay, they're using runway 1. Hold on. Where's the windsock? Oh, you know what? Those AI must have started taxiing out before I connected the weather. So that's why they're using that runway, even though it's got a tailwind. That'll be fixed once we start going. Alright, so all our lights are working. Avionics were working. Flaps, get that, and battery off. Alright, remove that and check our pitot heat. Yeah, it's working. Lock the baggage door. No tie down. A little bit of grease right there, but other than that, this looks good. Is that a dent? I can't tell. Everything looks good here. Okay, and we got full deflection on the elevator and the rudder. Trim tab was nice. That's working fine. No cracks or dents on the rails, and the push rod looks fine. We'll just check our hinges here. Everything looks good there, nice and secure. And we got full deflection on the aileron. Cool. No tie down. The vent is clear. Get rid of the wheel chocks there. Tire looks good. Doesn't look underinflated. Probably got full tread. Can't really check that in the sim. Fuel. Don't see any contamination in the fuel. And oh, we do not have full tanks here. So let's call for a fuel truck then. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, can I get some fuel? Thank you. Alright, so now let's recheck it. And we have full tanks. And just because we just got refueled, yep, no contamination in the fuel that was given to us. Always do that. If you get refueled, just check to make sure it was not contaminated. I do love you can pre-flight the Cessna. And it's doesn't even take that long. It's one of my biggest fears when they add pre-flight mechanics to planes in Flight Sim is sometimes you just want to get it up and running right off the bat. But I'm being more thorough than I really need to be right now, just for immersion's sake. You can actually breeze through the pre-flight on this plane in 5 minutes in the sim, whereas in real life you wouldn't. Alright, oil. We have about 8 quarts and looks clean, so we're good to go there. I had them change the oil as well to the hotter temperature oil, so brand new oil in the engine. Full tank on this side. And no contamination there. Wheel chock's gone there. Flip the battery back on with the keyboard. Our stall horn is working. Vent is clear. Full deflection on our aileron here. Our hinges look fine. Flaps good this side. No cracks in the rails and a good push rod. Alright. Okay, the aircraft is ready to go. Let's load our payload. We're going to put Heidi in the seat next to us. 85 pounds of baggage in the back. And our sunglasses are on. Alright, as for taxiing out, we're going to cut the brakes off, and we're going to push the plane back a bit. And I'm going to push it over here so that our tail's facing that hangar. That way we'll have an easier time getting out of here. Alright, there we go. Alright, we'll have an easier time getting out of here like that. So just real quick, I'm going to review the Savannah AFD. Runway declared distance information. TORA. Landing distance available. That's all for the LASSO stuff. Runway 1 is 7,000 by 150. Runway 1028 is 9,300 by 150, concrete grooved. Airport remarks, attended to 0400 Zulu, birds and deer. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's put some birds and deer running around here. What I'm gonna do, this is probably gonna kill my frame rate. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we're gonna start wildlife up. So I'm going to run that. And I'm going to make sure this is set to spawn as few animals as possible, just to make sure I don't completely kill my frame rate. And now we are going to start that up. Frame rate's going to drop to 0 for just a second while it starts spawning them all in. $146. Return to 146, 100%. Alright. Oh, it didn't kill the frame rate too much either. Alright, so now we should start seeing some birds and stuff running around. More so than usual. I've been having a bit of a run-in with birds lately. Alrighty. Okay, I need the airport diagram next. Let's go ahead and get the airplane started. Let's see, close that door. I'm only going to leave my window. We'll open Heidi's window too. She don't get too hot. It is hot out there today. We're also going to open the ventilation up all the way because it's very hot outside right now. Well, actually, the heat wasn't too bad today, so I don't know why I'm saying that. Alrighty. Let's go to my checklist. Pre-flight inspection complete. Passenger briefing complete. Seatbelts adjusted, locked, set. Brakes are set. Go ahead and set them. Electrical equipment is all off. Avionics master is off. Cow flaps are full open. Fuel selector is in the both position. Circuit breakers are in. And the next, that's that one. Starting engine with battery. Alright, throttle in 1/4 inch. Prop, high RPM. Mixture is idle cut. Propeller area is clear. Clear prop. Alright, master on. Flashing beacon light on. Fuel flow, startup. Or follow startup flow. Alright. So put these over to both. Alright, fuel pump on, mixture in. Good rise. 3, 2, 1, out, off. Holding the brakes. Come on, turn over, don't. Turn over, please. Why has this plane been doing this lately? Alright, full throttle. Prime the motherfucking shit out of this plane. That probably floods the engine, but whatever. I don't know why, but every single time I've been trying to fly this plane, it's been having a bitch of a time starting up. Fuck this shit. I hate doing that, but every now and then this plane is just a bitch. And it does not want to start. Alright. Oil pressure, good rise, good flow. Mixture out for ground ops. idle at about 500 or 900. Oil pressure check good. And meter charging. Nav lights not required, we're VFR. Taxi landing lights not required, it's daytime. Avionics are on. Radios are all on. We'll flip the GPS on, it'll start running through its self-check. Flaps, retract. And that's that checklist. Next one's before takeoff. Oh, there. I accidentally turned that off. So while they're raising, let's test our annunciators. Alright, pitch trim stayed on, that's normal. We'll check our magnetic compass. We're on about 180 to 185. Yep, about 186, 187 there. Flip that to free, and it turns clockwise. Turns counterclockwise, make sure that's good. And if we flip back to slave. Alright, that's up and working. It matches the compass. Okay. And we're just going to bring up the GPS pop-up window because it makes my life a little easier. Alright, Worldwide Aviation Database, 2015, Cycle 1504. I can't really update the GPS on here. Why are you transparent? Alright, fuel capacity 88, total on board 87, fuel flow, we need to adjust the fuel flow. Oh, that's going to update automatically, never mind. Alright, it's connected to the satellites. 2207, yep, looks good to me. Alrighty. So let me bring my nav log up and let's set the flight plan up. Flight plan departing Sierra Alpha Victor for our first waypoint, which is the Brunswick VOR, I believe. Where did they hide the route on here? This is not the right flight plan. Load up the correct one. There we go. First waypoint is the Brunswick VOR, Sierra. Sierra. India, Brunswick, Georgia. And the waypoint after that is VP Yankee India Whiskey, a VP waypoint. So Victor, Papa, and then Yankee India Whiskey. Yankee India Whiskey. And then our destination airfield, which is 3 Juliet 6. 3 Juliet 6, Folkestone, Georgia. Alright. If we go in the north up, you can see there's our trip. And do I still have SkyVector brought up on here? Yep, and you can check, it roughly matches. I'll bring SkyVector occasionally, but I'm going to be using my iPad mostly for my charts, which I can't really show on here, sadly. Alright, flip this, 10 mile zoom's fine. Real quick, I just want to check the scheduler. So that's gonna fire off here in just a second. And yep, this is set for departure airfield. Let's go ahead and tune ATIS 123.75, which is set already. Ground is 121.9, right there. tower is 119.1. Is that correct? Airports. Savannah Tower, 119.1. 9.1. Yep. And we're gonna need departure control next. And let me open up the AFD for that to see who we have to talk to. Let's see, departure for 270 to 10, that's northeast, that's not us. Departure from 110 to, yeah, okay, this one, it's 120.4. 109, okay, so 120.4 is the departure controller that we need to talk to. Alright. Alright, switch this over to ground. Because apparently a Delta airplane just landed. Can we see him from here? Yep, right there he is. Looks like a mad dog. Alright. Zoom level. I put this over to the obstacles for now. With a 5-mile zoom. Messages, it's just the fuel tank switch we don't need to worry about right now. Alrighty. Real quick. Our initial heading. Let's listen to ATIS. Alright, we're tuned to ATIS, but I can't hear it for some reason. Let's give it a minute. Maybe they're updating the tape. I got my notepad here to write it down. Come on. I need the weather. Any day now. It's weird, I should be hearing it. Tune ATIS 123.75. So it was the right frequency. Why is that not working? Well, I guess that just doesn't want to work. Alright, we'll do it the hard way. Or the unrealistic way. 170 at 9, 10, few 55, few 65, 2916, 3019er. So we'll set this to 3019. Right about there. And our initial course outbound. Let's see, navlog. Our course is gonna be 197. Can't be right. Oh yeah, 197 outbound from Savannah, 195 inbound to Brunswick. So we're gonna set this to 195. And what did this say the winds were? 170 at 9. Set the heading bug to 170, so I have a reference as to where the winds are, and they're pretty much blowing pretty hard today. Brunswick VOR is on 109.8. Let's go ahead and set that. Actually, let's set that on number 2 or number 1. 109.8. And okay, it's identified as Brunswick. We're on the ground, so we're not going to be able to pick it up. Let's set this to nav or VLOC. Alright, I think we are ready to taxi. So, I'm going to give it a little bit of throttle, and we're going to taxi right over to that line right there, and then we'll call for ground. Let's watch this citation here. Just picked the plane up from maintenance. Plug that in. That was not ridiculously loud. Alrighty. Set the brake here. Alright, good to go. Holding short of... what is this? Delta here? Yeah. So we're on Golf Alpha 2, short of Delta is where we are at. And we want to depart to the south.
Savannah ground, Cessna November 50394, ready to taxi.
I'll boost the volume on the sim a little bit.
Hold short of runway 10, using taxiway Bravo, Bravo 1 Alpha 4 Alpha, Charlie. Contact tower on 119er going to 1 when ready. Taxi 2 and hold short runway 10 via taxiway Bravo, Bravo 1 Alpha 4 Alpha, Charlie. Cessna 394.
Did default ATC just give me a intersecting taxiway? Oh no, they said runway 10, didn't they? Yeah, runway 10. Why are they launching off of 10 if the winds are 170? That favors runway 16. Well, it's too late to request it differently, so. Alright, Bravo 1, Alpha 4, Alpha Charlie. We'll take it down to... Actually, you know what we could do? I don't always have to listen to default ATC. Let's take off, just to make our taxi a little shorter. Let's take off from the intersecting taxiway at Alpha. That gives us plenty of room in the Cessna 182. Won't be an issue. Alright, so this is taxiway Bravo that we are on. The next taxiway on our left is Bravo 1, which we need to turn onto. There's the cargo ramp there. Don't see any planes parked there. And coming up here is the FBO, one of 3 FBOs. Or no, sorry, one of 2 FBOs on Savannah. And if you're wondering why you're seeing a lot of Gulfstreams here, it's because this is a primary maintenance facility for Gulfstream. So you'll see a lot of their planes here. In fact, that big hangar over there is one of their maintenance facilities, also that complex over there. Alright, we'll turn onto, what's this, Bravo 1 here. Alright, and we've been cleared to cross the runway. Just a real quick check. I don't see anyone on final on either side. Alright, this is Alpha 4 that we're on here. We'll take it right onto Alpha and we'll take it all the way down to runway 10 and we'll take off from taxiway Alpha. There's plenty of room there and I don't feel like going all the way down to the end because that'll take too long. I still gotta do an engine run up. And we want to be extra thorough on our engine run up today since we're picking the plane up from maintenance. Passing Golf Alpha 5. There's the other FBO over there. You can see all them planes parked over there. Some more Gulfstreams. Looks like an antenna for the AWAS system there too. Alright, that's Charlie. They want us to turn on the Charlie, but we're actually going to go all the way over to Alpha. Or we're going to stay on Alpha and take off from here. Don't see any airplanes at the terminal. That Delta airliner must have parked on the other side. Alright, we're gonna do... be the best place to do this. Right over there, probably. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna position the airplane. He's going around for some reason. Looks like a twin Cessna. Or did he just take off? I don't know. We're gonna position our airplane right here, facing into the wind. We're gonna take that light out. Wind's coming from this direction. As much into the wind as I can. And we're going to do our engine run up right here. Alright, back to the checklist. Alright, parking brake is set. Passenger seat backs are upright. Seats and seat belts check secure. Cabin doors are locked. Flight controls full left. Backing up. Left goes up, right goes down. Right goes up, left goes down. Up and down, left and right. Free and correct with full deflection. Flight instruments. HSI is already set. Attitude indicator is good. We look like we're sitting slight nose up. Actually looks like it's a little, let's bring that down a bit. We're not sitting that high nose up. Airspeed looks good. Okay, everything looks good here. Flight instruments are checked and set. Fuel quantity is checked. We're full on the left and right tanks. Mixture set for best power. Fuel elevation is level or sea level, so full rich. Fuel selector, both. Rudder and elevator trim is set for takeoff. Throttle at 1800 RPM. 16, 17, 18. Alright, right mag. Good drop. And left mag. Good drop. Alright, drop's good. Prop, we're going to cycle the prop real quick. Bring this out till the RPM drops. Put it back in. RPM's working. Vacuum gauge, green, amps, check the... Alright. Gauge dropped when we put the landing light on, so the amps are working, and we are good. Engine instruments, we are green across the board. Annunciator, no lights. Alright, real quick, we're going to do a governor check. We're going to bring the throttle out to about 70. I'm going to increase manifold pressure. RPM should top off around 2100. I'm increasing manifold pressure. RPM is staying the same, so the governor is working. Bring the throttle all the way out. Check that stop block. The engine should not die. Alright, the engine did not die. It ran rough, but it didn't die, so we're good there. Put this back at idle. Back to a high RPM. And just for a little bit, because I don't know how long I'm going to be on the ground, bringing you back out. Transponder to altimeter. We're going to set this to our cruise altitude of 6,500. Don't know if we're going to get that high. Is this brought out all the way? That's brought out all the way. Throttle at 1,000. Friction lock is set. Landing and strobe lights on. Radios and avionics. Let's flip us over to tower. And departure control set on tower on COM 1 standby. Nav GPS is set to V-lock. I'm going to be navigating without a GPS, even though I will have the magenta line there to help. Autopilot, bearer reference 3019 3019. Bearer reference set. Windows, close and lock on that one and that one. Wing flaps not required. Cow flaps are full open. Yep. Takeoff checklist. shift 2, not 3. Alright, for takeoff, flaps will be up, power will be full, mixture is at full, will be at full rich. I've leaned it out for now. We'll rotate at 55 knots, climb out at 75, and retract the wing flaps, which is not required. V2, not V2, VY is 75 knots. Once we're above 2,000 and clear the airfield, we'll pitch for a climb of 90 knots, which is a good climb rate in this airplane. Alright. Switch back over to my navlog real quick. How do I... They've changed this. Where is my controls to right on this thing? There we go. Alright, let's turn the plane around and position it right here at the hold short line. Hold here. Okay, departure is at 22:27, so I'm going to write that in. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot to write in my departure time for off block. We were out at, I'll just say 22:17. Why are you not working? Color? Red? Oh, well, this just does not want to work, I guess. Screw it. Who cares about departure time anyway? Alright, put you on to the map page. Face you south. Alright, I am ready for takeoff.
Savannah Tower, Cessna, November 50394, ready at runway 10, south departure. Cessna, November 50394, cleared for takeoff, runway 10, departure to the south approved. Cleared for takeoff, runway 10, Cessna 394.
Alright, lights, camera, action. Alright, all these obstacles, watch out for them. You can see them on the GPS here. This is why I tuned the GPS to the obstacle page for departure. But, pretty good VFR weather, so we should be fine. Alright, taking off runway 10. We're going to have a decent crosswind, so be ready for that. There must be some reason they didn't want us to take off runway 1's whatever. Alright, full power. Crosswind correction is in. And rotate. Whoa! Like I said, I did not have enough crosswind correction in there. And climb out at 75. Yeah, a lot of things aren't working today. Nothing wants to. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. Right there's 500 feet above the field. That's not working now for some reason. Okay, my GPS has decided to die. Well, we're 1,000 feet above the field now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn south. Pretty sure we're clear of all these obstacles. Yeah, none of them go up to 1,000, so we'll turn to the south. Try to figure out why the GPS does not want to work now. I'm hitting the buttons and it's doing nothing.
394, you are leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
Alright, I'll flip over to departure. But I can't. What the fuck? Why is everything breaking today? Hold on. That GPS, there should be a couple of programs. Okay, they're running. All those programs are running. They look fine. That was working literally 5 seconds ago. Alright. Let's over to COM 2. 120.4. And we can't request flight following right now, but we'll request it once it's available. Oh well, I got my charts. I don't need the GPS. It's just now I don't have my COM 1 radio. That's just bloody great. Let's see. What's the altitude? 2,500? Alright, so we should... Yeah, we're at 3,000 now, so we're clear of their airspace. So I don't have to worry about violating. That is Hunter Army Airfield there, so... Alright, let's set up for climb. I'm going to use full manifold pressure on the climb, but I will bring the RPM back to inside the green arc. Let's lean the fuel mixture out for 15 gallons per hour. And we'll pitch down, climb at about 90 knots. Up to 6,500 if we can make it that high. Okay, I'm gonna recycle the GPS. This is not working. That thing's just completely frozen up now, isn't it? I've never had that happen with that GPS before. Well, that's just bloody great. So that means we've lost our COM 1 radio and our GPS entirely. So we're running off of COM 2 now. Fantastic. 109.8. You were set to 195. There we go. Not receiving the VOR yet. We're too far away. There's Hunter Army Airfield down there. Can we get flight following now? Nope. Oh yeah, there goes a couple birds. We're not going to make it up. Nope. Alright, we're going to drop back down to 4,500. 217.
Savannah, departure H, November 3482, Echo.
2171.
H, November 3482, Echo. Savannah, departure, Roger, altimeter 3020, Piper 3, Lima.
God damn it.
Turn right heading 185. H82, Echo.
Fuck you.
Heading 040.
Let me get a word in edgewise.
Climb and maintain 7,000. Squawk 2171, Cessna 394.
We'll drop back down to 4,500. We're not going to be able to climb up to 6,000.
Contact 4 miles west of Hunter 5200, altimeter 3021. Turn left heading 040, proceed on course, climb and maintain 7,000. H82 Echo. Copy, Cessna 394. Turn right heading 185, Piper 3, Lima Foxtrot.
Hunter with its STOL runway right there in the middle of the main runway. You can kind of see it there. Alright. Passing. We're pretty much on our flight plan route according to the iPad. We're slightly off of it to the right. Or it's to our right, so we're left, of course, but... Alright, we're receiving... Are we receiving the VOR? Yep, looks like we are receiving the VOR now. Yep, not going to be able to make 6,500 with those clouds. That's fine. What's the nav log say for our burn here? For 4,500, we will have no tailwind. The flight's now going to be 1 hour 5 minutes, and it's going to be 16.3 gallons instead of 15.5. Okay, so that's going to basically cut us down to 7.5 hours worth of fuel instead of 7:45. That's fine. Alright, throttle up. To 20 on the manifold pressure. Trim this thing up for level flight. Bring the RPM back to 23. Alrighty. Is that 95 right there? Possibly. Yes, that's 95 right there. So push come to shove, all we gotta do is follow that highway. But if we keep the ocean on our left, we'll be on the right way.
Turn right heading 055, H9er Quebec Sierra. Viper 3, Lima Foxtrot. Contact Exotel Center on 120.85. 120.85 for Viper 3, Lima Foxtrot.
Alright. Landing light off, taxi light on. Let's bring that in just a little bit. Alright, we're trimmed up. Fuel mixture. Let's bring that out. That should keep rising.
Approach H November 169er Bravo 3 pin out of 11,500 for 4,000. H November 169er Bravo 3 Savannah approach Roger altimeter 3020.
Alright, that is decreasing now, so put that back in there. Should increase. Give it one more turn, should increase again. Nope, alright, so right there is peak. And that is 40%. Let's bring this out to 30. We're running 10% lean of peak. Just have to watch our temperatures, that's it. Alright, and with that not working, let's do the switching of the fuel tanks the old-fashioned way as well. Reset. We'll run off the left side for now, and we'll half-cock the cow flaps. We're about a quarter.
H9er Quebec Sierra, turn right heading 085. Turn right heading 085, H9er Quebec Sierra.
That GPS is literally just frozen now. What the hell?
Turn right heading 115. Turn right heading 115, H9er Quebec Sierra. 120.85 for H82 Echo.
Never had a problem with that GPS before. And now it's just not working. It's frozen. I can't do shit to it. Ah. And it...
Savannah approach, H November 5.
I don't get it.
X-ray
It was
Foxtrot,
working on the ground. When we go to take off, it just quits.
X-ray Foxtrot, Savannah approach, Roger, altimeter 3020.
Bullshit. Nothing wants to work today. Frickin' Mondays, man.
Center on 126.75.
Alright, let's set our
126.75.
temperature. It's 16 degrees, opposite 4,500.
Approach, H November 88842 is out of 3,500.
There's 4,000, opposite 16. How about air? Alright, so we're making roughly 120 knots true. And it's a little bumpy. Are these clouds getting lower? Frack, are these... Are they... Oh man, they really are. I mean, I knew they would, but I was hoping they wouldn't be as dense. Is that a bird? If I'm in another flock of birds, I'm gonna be pissed, because that's like 3 flights in a row I've flown into a flock of birds. Let's track this way for a little bit.
Turn left, heading 050, proceed on course. Climb and maintain 7,000.
Alright, let's try to get our position. That is a pretty big inlet there, with smaller streams snaking out. The shape of it. Is there a small island in the middle? Mm-hmm. Alright, so, and if we look to our right, we got a slight bend in I-95. Alright, I'm pretty sure that that is St. Catharines Sound right there. And if I turn on the thing on my iPad, yep, that is St. Catharines Sounds right over there. Which means that is Cumberland Island.
Climb and maintain flight level 1900, Bombardier 2, Juliet 4.
So, yep, we are right on course. Man, I knew we kind of hard to get lost on this flight. All you gotta do is fly south. Now the clouds are at our altitude. They really got low quick. They also top off pretty high too. Not sure if I can climb above them. I might just have to zig and zag around them. And it's gonna be bumpy too. Ain't that some shit? I picked this plane up from maintenance and the GPS is broken. I wonder if I can, no GPS, GPS 295, GPS 400, GPS 430, GPS 530. Let's try the 430, see if that's working. Let's run it through its self-test. Don't you just love the simulator? You can change this stuff out on the fly. Okay, turn back this way, get around these clouds. Satellites. I'm not going to worry about programming in my flight plan, but the 430 is working. Well, ain't that some shit? Well, I guess we're just going to be stuck with that. We'll just have to use COM 2. Stop climbing, go down. It's very turbulent now that we're in these clouds. Okay, we should be coming around the south side of Cumberland Island now. Yep, right there, that's Cumberland. Which means that is the Sapelo Sound.
Citation, November 575, Kilo Lima, with you, 7000. Citation, November 575, Kilo Lima, Savannah approach, Roger, altimeter 3020.
Some airliners up there. Found a couple of birds lately, but oh man, the clouds get thicker up ahead. I don't know if I'm going to be able to zig around those. Come on, frame rate. What are you doing, frame rate? There you go.
Cessna 394. Contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85. Turn left heading 020. Resume on navigation. Descend and maintain 2,100. H1 kilo. 120.85 for Cessna 394.
Alright, over to 120.85.
Jacksonville Center, Cessna November 50394 with you, 4,600. Cessna November 50394, Jacksonville Center, Roger, altimeter 3020.
Only working on one comm radio right now, so I'm going to be using their altimeter settings. Don't know if we're going to be able to zig around these. We might have to descend.
Traffic alert, 6 o'clock, less than 1 mile, flight level 332, Airbus A320, report to insight. 1486, have the Embraer jet in sight. 580, traffic in sight. 1486, you're 300, below your assigned altitude. Turn right heading 005, resume on navigation, climb and maintain flight level 330. Turn right heading 005, proceed on course, climb and maintain flight level 330, 1486. Jacksonville Center, United 231 with you, flight level 350. United 231, Jacksonville Center, Roger. Delta 1704, traffic is 11 o'clock, 4 miles, at flight level 353, Airbus A319, report to insight, H5 kilo 7, descend.
Alright, that's the Sapelo Sound we just passed out there.
Descend and maintain 2,000.
And that would be
H5 kilo 7.
Sapelo Island, which means that
171, traffic is 12 o'clock,
is Dobby
4 miles,
Sound.
at 10,900, Beach Verity, report to insight. H5 kilo 7, traffic is 1 o'clock, 1 mile, at 7,000, Cessna, twin Cessna, report to insight. H5 kilo 7, have the Cessna, twin Cessna, in sight. 580, traffic is 12 o'clock, 4 miles, at flight level 353, Boeing 757, report to insight. 580, contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85. 1486, contact Jacksonville Center on 120.85.
Is that a ship or a small island? It might be just a sandbar. That's got to be a sandbar. That's way too big to be a ship. Yeah, that's a sandbar. Alrighty, how are we going to do this? I don't know if I can get around these.
US Air 855, have the traffic.
I just saw a red light flash on that island down there.
Air Shuttle 3739er, traffic is 12 o'clock, 4 miles, headlight level 333, Donald Douglas MD-80.
Alright, that's Dobby Sound right there off our left side.
Air Shuttle 3739er, have the traffic.
Passing over a private airfield called Patterson Island. Looks like it right down there.
US Air 855, traffic is 11 o'clock, 4 miles, headlight level 353, Boeing 757, report them in sight. US Air 855, have the Boeing 757 in sight. US Air 855, traffic alert, 9 o'clock, less than 1 mile, flight level 352, Boeing 757, report them in sight. US Air 855, have the traffic. Delta 895, traffic is 10 o'clock, 3 miles, headlight level 353, Boeing 757, report them in sight.
I think I see Brunswick Golden Isles Airfield at my about 12:30.
Report them in sight. Cessna 171, contact Savannah.
And since I'm only working on one comm radio, I'm going to be relying on ATC's altimeter settings. They should give me the Brunswick altimeter shortly. I could also use my iPad. They are reporting
153, have the traffic.
I can't tell. Is it going to tell me?
US Air 855, have the Bombardier jet in sight.
Nope, it doesn't have the frickin' What good is that then? That does me no good. Who programmed that?
905, traffic is 1 o'clock, 4 miles, headlight level 353, Bombardier jet, report them in sight.
Right, the thing with default ATCs, they only give you new altimeter settings on a frequency change.
Traffic is 2 o'clock, 2 miles, headlight level 332, Donald Douglas MD-80.
Alright, we're passing by the north end of Dobby Sound now.
Bombardier 582, traffic in sight.
Ridgeville should be off of our right side. Yep, there it is, just off the nose. That's Ridgeville right there. We might be skirting the bottom of these clouds. Really don't want to descend unless I have to. So real quick, we'll just show you. We're right here. Right about there is where we're at, because there's Dobby Sound, Ridgeville, Ridgeville, VP DAR, which we're about to pass. Your pressure is 3020 according to SkyVector. GPS still broken. I don't see any way to navigate around these. They're too thick. Well, there's Brunswick Golden Isles right over there, so we're still on course, roughly. We're gonna have to descend. There's no other way around this.
Jacksonville Center, Beach November 121 Alpha Mike is climbing through 600.
Alright, we'll drop it down to 2,500.
1 Alpha Mike, Jacksonville Center, Roger, altimeter 3021. Beach 1 Alpha Mike, turn right heading 195, resume moon navigation, climb and maintain 8,000. Turn right heading 195, resume moon navigation, climb and maintain 8,000. Beach 1 Alpha Mike. Cessna 1 November Lima, traffic is 3 o'clock, 4 miles at 9,000, Cessna Skyhawk, report them in sight.
That's Golden Isles right there, which means this is St. Simon's Island right in front of us. On the southern tip of it is going to be Brunswick McKinnon Airfield. And then just to the south of the river there, the St. Simons Inlet, is going to be Jekyll Island with its airport. Right smack in the middle, which is where the Brunswick VOR actually is. It's on Jekyll Island, not on St. Simons, where you would think it would be.
Piper 3 Lima Foxtrot. Contact Jacksonville approach on 127.0.
So once we get over Jekyll Island, we're going to be turning to a new course line. GPS still broken. Gotta love it. Gotta love it when technology fails you.
Turn left heading 135, Piper 656. Jacksonville Center, East November 169er Bravo 3. Dismissed approach at 11 mile. Beach 9er Bravo 3, you are 1 mile southwest. Turn left heading to D5, climb and maintain 3000. Expect vectors ILS, runway 7. Approach Beach 1 Alpha Mike. Contact Jacksonville approach on 127.0. Cessna 9er 53. Contact Jacksonville Center on 132.3. 127.0 for Beach 1 Alpha Mike.
Alright, I see McKinnon Airfield. My 12 o'clock. We'll head straight for it.
85, climb and maintain 3000. Expect vectors ILS, runway 7. Approach Beach 9er Bravo 3. Beach 9er Bravo 3, traffic is 8 o'clock. 4 miles at 1000. Citation. Report to inside. Beach 9er Bravo 3, turn left heading 255. Turn left heading 255. Beach 9er Bravo 3. Beach 9er Bravo 3, have it. Citation, inside.
Are we not receiving the VOR anymore? Oh no, we got a red flag on CDI number 1, but CDI number 2 looks good. And they're both tuned to the same VOR. That might be because the GPS is just up and died, so it might not be sending the appropriate nav data anymore. So we'll have to use CDI number 2 because CDI number 1 is no longer reliable. Right through the altitude.
Cessna 804, traffic is 9 o'clock. 2 miles at 8,600. Beach Air, report to inside. Jacksonville Center, Beach November 121 Alpha Mike is climbing through 8,800 for 16,000. Beach November 121 Alpha Mike, Jacksonville Center, roger, altimeter 3020. Cessna 804, have the traffic.
Level off at 2,500.
Heading to 85. Turn right heading to 85. Beach 9er Bravo 3. Beach 1 Alpha Mike.
I see the wake of a boat over there in the ocean.
12,000. Cessna Skyhawk. Report to inside. Beach 1 Alpha Mike. Have it. Cessna Skyhawk in sight.
Alright, we're going to fly roughly over St. Simons, or McKinnon, which is that airfield right there, off our nose. I'm going to point the airplane roughly to Jekyll Island right now, the bottom side of it. We'll fly probably right over Jekyll Island's airport. There's Brunswick, Georgia right over there. There's the bridge. That's State Road 17. Alright, it's 2300 Zulu, which is 7 o'clock local time. The sun will start going down pretty soon. When is sunset? Sunset is at 2034. So about an hour and a half before sunset So we'll start losing light. Birds! Frickin' birds. That's the bad part about descending to get below clouds, is you see more of those little avian bastards.
Bombardier 582, traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles, at flight level 352, Airbus A319, report to inside.
Alright, that's McKinnon down there. One of my favorite airports to fly to there. The instrument approach, the VOR instrument approach runway 4 is probably one of my favorite approaches to fly. Alright, this is Jekyll Island right here. I see Jekyll Island Airport. We'll fly roughly right over it. And the Brunswick VOR, believe it or not, is actually on Jekyll Island. It's not on Brunswick or St. Simons like you would think. There's some boats down there. So right over there is Brunswick, and that's Brunswick McKinnon, or not McKinnon, Golden Isles Airfield there. And that's Brunswick McKinnon Airfield there. And the Brunswick VOR is not on either one of those. It's right over here on St. Simons.
Contact Jacksonville Center on 132.3. Going to 132.3.
Alright, our new course line after the VOR is gonna be 185. Alright, so I'm gonna set this to 185, even though it's not working because the GPS is dead. Set you to 185. CDI number 2 is working. CDI number 1 has failed because the GPS is froze up and it's not sending info to CDI. And it's on NAT, as you can see. So, but because that's frozen, it's no longer sending radio information to CDI number 1. So CDI number 1 has no idea what to do. So it's just going to show us on course all the time, and it's giving us a red flag. CDI number 2 is still working because it's being driven by COM2 down here. And that's the only radio that's working because with the GPS froze up, this is the only radio I have. Alright, that's Jekyll Island right down there. Nice little fun airfield to fly. Jekyll Island being a relatively popular vacation spot. Now if that's Jekyll Island, that means that is St. Andrews Sound. This big inlet here is St. Andrews Sound, which is the inlet to the St. Mary's River. No, it's not. The Satilla River. The St. Mary's Inlet is the inlet to the St. Mary's River. And this is the inlet to the Satilla River. Which means this island right here is Cumberland? Is that Cumberland Island? Yep. 3.3. Oh, 127.0. 127.0.
November 2000, cleared visual, runway 36, approach, advisory on 123.0, H5, Kilo 7. Jacksonville approach, Cessna November 503-904 with you, 2600. Cessna November 503-904, Jacksonville approach, roger, altimeter 3020.
Let's play a game. It's called Spot the VOR Station. The Brunswick VOR station is down here somewhere, and all VOR stations have an actual library object on the ground in Flight Sim. Let's see if we can't find it. We should be flying roughly over it right now. Right there. Right there it is. Under the wing. My mouse is right on it. It's a fun little game I like to play when you're at a low altitude. Spot the VOR station. Alright, let's stick over to land as much as possible as we fly over the sound. Since we're at a lower altitude and there's traffic over there. There's 3 airplanes over there, clustered relatively close together too. There's 2 there. They're right next to one another, because that one's at 5 miles, the other's at 4.8. Are they in formation or? Now the Navy does like to fly up and down the coast. They fly their SH-60 helicopters up and down the coast in real life, but not in Flight Simulator. But every now and then you'll see AI planes in formation. They're not moving that fast, but they are maintaining altitude, it looks like. So, well, they're 3 miles. Let's see if we can get a look at them. Oops. Look at all them boats down there. As soon as they come into view, I'll zoom in, see if we can't see them. Two GA planes, actually. A couple of GA planes. Looks like two Skyhawks, actually, in formation. They must be landing at Jekyll Island. That's illegal. That's not illegal. The only thing you need to fly in formation is prior approval with all the pilots in command. So, not illegal. Just a couple of VFR airplanes on out flying formation. Alright, we're coming over the southern end of the St. Andrews Sound here. This is the inlet to the Satilla River, which you can see snaking off that way. Which means we just track Cumberland Island all the way to the south. Now, Cumberland Island is one of the bigger barrier islands, and we also need to get on the beach side of it. So now that we're clear of what the final approach course into Jekyll Island, I'm going to track to put us over the beach of Cumberland Island, because if we were to just track south from here, we'd violate P50, and we are below 3,000 feet due to these clouds. So if we go into that line, we're going to be in P50's restricted area, or prohibited airspace. Nope, this is not X-Plane 10, this is Flight Simulator. I do not have X-Plane 10. Fantastic simulator, but there's no reason for me to go over to it. I got FSX up and running very nicely and a lot invested in FSX, so no reason to go to X-Plane 10 for me. Nice simulator, I recommend it to everyone, but there's just no reason for me to switch. I say that as I have literally every technical problem in the world today. My GPS is not working, CDI 1 is not working, I'm on a single radio right now. But no, this is not X-Plane. Okay, we want to fly over the beach of Cumberland Island. That should keep us clear of P50. I wonder if our DME is working. Oh, I don't have DME. So I am now a slant alpha airplane. I have just a single VOR radio and no DME. I was slant Gulf when I took off. Okay, we're 2940. Let's go ahead and switch tanks. Over to the right side and reset that. Alright, P50 is on the southern end of Cumberland Island, right where it gets skinny. And before it expands out on the very southern tip, which is right here. That's P50 right there. Prohibited airspace up to but not including 3,000 feet, and it's about a 3-mile circle around the center. So we want to avoid overflying that. I do not feel like getting intercepted today.
Jacksonville approach, Cessna, November 17, 953, with you, 9000. Cessna, November 78953, Jacksonville approach. Roger, altimeter 3019er.
So we'll just aim for the southern, or the what's the northern tip of Fernandina Beach? What island is that?
Jacksonville approach.
That doesn't really
November
say.
753 Lima Hotel. You said 9,500.
Well, Fernandina Beach is at the northern tip of the island, just on the other side of the St. Mary's Sound here. 'Cause this is the southern tip of Cumberland Island. That's the St. Mary's Sound right there, which makes that Fernandina Beach, which is our waypoint, VPWI, or VP Yankee India Whiskey. So we'll aim right for it.
Jacksonville approach. H November 585 Kilo 7 with you 1,900. H November 585 Kilo 7 Jacksonville approach. Roger, altimeter 3020. Jacksonville approach. Piper November 4.
And that should keep us clear of P50.
800 for 2,000. Piper November 4903 Lima Foxtrot Jacksonville approach. Roger, altimeter 3020. H5 Kilo 7, traffic is 6 o'clock, 3 miles at 1,000. Hyper departure, report 7 in sight. Hyper 3 Lima Foxtrot, traffic is 10 o'clock, 3 miles at 2,000. H Barrett, report 7 in sight.
More birds, seagulls,
5 Kilo 7, traffic in sight.
or looks like
Lima Foxtrot, traffic in sight.
a seagull and 2
Jacksonville approach.
eagles, probably.
November 143 Charlie November, is at 7,200.
Several boats down there. Whoop, stay this way. Do not go over there. We're a little close to that line. Closer than I would really like to be, but we ain't got much choice. I can't go over the water too far. Another bird off our right side. Let's aim for the tip of the island there. If we look out our right side here, that is Kings Bay Naval Base, not represented in Flight Simulator. But it's right there. It's Kings Bay Naval Base, which is one of the primary sub-bases on the east coast of the U.S. So not only are there submarines there are nukes there, and a bunch of other fun things. And that is why the prohibited airspace exists. No fly over that. They do not like it. And we're about probably a mile from the edge of that airspace right now. So if you look, right there it is. We're right here, just over the water. There's the airspace, and we're about a mile from it. See? There's the skinny tip of Cumberland. There's the the base. And pretty much that beach right there is where the frickin' line is. Alright, that's Fernandina Beach right in front of us. We'll track until we're over the St. Mary's River. The St. Mary's Inlet. That's when it's going to be safe to turn inland for our destination. Our next course is going to be 284. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to 284. Just want to get over the St. Mary's River before I turn inland. That way I know I'm clear of P50. If I look out my right side, I should. Yep, I see St. Mary's. That's St. Mary's Airfield right there. And St. Mary's, Georgia right here. Come on, why do you keep losing your textures? Can't you just keep them in memory? Alright, we're clear of the airspace. Let's turn inland to the west. Let's just head straight west for now.
H5 Kilo 7. Turn right heading 240. Turn right heading 240. H5 Kilo 7.
I'm actually going to fly westbound until I get on the west side of the airport. And then I'm going to look for State Road 40.
Turn right heading 270.
Follow that.
Right heading 270. H5 Kilo 7.
Okay, we're still with the right one. Let's see. Close enough to Jacksonville. Let's go ahead and get their altimeter. I'm going to cheat though. I'm going to use SkyVector. Their altimeter reporting 3018. Set this, Barrow 3018. Alrighty. Just want to get west of that airport for a little bit. So I really don't want to follow the river because it takes us over some uninhabited areas and at such a low altitude. I'd rather follow the highway. There's P50 over there off our right side. The sun should start, yep, it's starting to set. Sunset at destination is 2034, and it's, so that would be 0034 Zulu. So it's roughly an hour away now, but we'll start losing daylight before then. Now with no GPS, I don't know if I'm going to be clear of obstacles unless I see them, but luckily I know the area, so I know where the obstacles are, and I know we should be clear of pretty much all of them coming in from this direction. The only one I'm going to be worried about, okay, we're west of the airport now. That's 40 right there, because that's St. Mary's here, and then that's Kingsland. There's a bit of woodland between them, and 40 just sort of snakes through it. I think that's 40. One of these two, hold on. Nope, that one's 40. And what's that one? Is that the railroad track? Only tower I'm going to be worried about is the one I can see right there. That is a, how big is it? That is a 1,500 foot behemoth radio tower. We'll be clearing it by 1,000 feet, which is a little close for comfort, so I'm going to try to avoid it. Okay, you can't both be I-40. What is that? Is that St. Mary's Road? It turns northbound, so that's not 40. That's 40, right there. That's the one we want to follow.
Turn right heading 005, H5 Kilo 7. H5 Kilo 7 has a runway in sight. H5 Kilo 7, you are 10 miles south, climb and maintain 2000, cleared visual, runway 36.
Alright, so we'll just fly towards this lake.
Advisory on 123.0. Descend and maintain 2000.
What lake is this? It's not charted. It's not on the chart.
Advisory on 123.0.
Or, no, it's not on the chart. It legitly isn't. Interesting. It's a lake there and it's not on the chart. So is that Main Street right there? No, that's 95.
Cessna 953.
I think.
Contact Jacksonville approach on 123.8.
No, we just flew over 95, so that is Main Street. That's 17 right there, I believe. I think it's 17. It's something. It's Main Street in Jacksonville, so if you were to follow it all the way south, you'd go through downtown Jacksonville. But I think it goes all the way up to Brunswick as well. It was that big bridge we saw when we flew over Brunswick. Alright, so this is 40 right here below us. And we're going to follow that all the way to our destination. It's going to be a little hard to stick to, though, because it's a 2-lane highway once you get outside of town. But there is also a power line that parallels it for a while, so we shouldn't have too hard of a problem. My biggest concern is that right there. That is a 1,500-foot radio tower. We're only going to clear it by 1,000 feet, so I'm going to actually stick to the south of it. That's the only obstacle along the route that I'm worried about at this altitude. So we'll just stick to the south of that radio tower for now. That's a big one. See, normally you can't really see radio towers from the air that well, even at lower altitudes like this, but those big ones you can. Look at that thing. And that is not the biggest one I've ever seen.
Lima Foxtrot, airport is at your 1 o'clock, 11 miles, turn right heading 005, report runway in sight.
Let's hop over to Heidi's seat. See what Heidi sees. She can get a real good look at that thing.
Lima Foxtrot, you are 11 miles south, climb and maintain 2000, clear visual, runway 36, approach, switch to 09er Juliet, advisory
Now
on
that,
123.0.
that is a radio tower. According to the chart, it is 1,501 feet high. There's actually stationary lights on. It's got a flashing red light. In real life, it's got a flashing red light on the top, but they also have omnidirectional obstacle red lights on them in 500-foot intervals climbing up. Unfortunately, Flight Sim just has the flashing red light at the top. Look at that thing. That one is a big bastard. Now, I'm no engineer, but I do believe those things are only held up by the wires. They're not dug into the ground at all. They're basically sitting on a concrete platform. Don't quote me on that, but I heard that to be the case. They're actually not dug into the ground. They sit on a concrete platform, and the wires just keep them from falling over. Alright, we're going to follow 40. Shouldn't be too hard to follow. As long as we keep it right on our nose, we won't lose track of it. But if we do, we should be able to see the St. Mary's River off of our left wing, which is this river right here. And these power lines roughly parallel the road, so shouldn't have too hard of a time. And if I look on my chart, we're coming up on Kings Ferry, which is a small community. And Folkestone, our destination airfield, should come into view shortly. So, I'm going to run through the descent checklist, even though we're really not going to descend. We're already low enough, we don't need to worry about it. So, power as desired, mixture and enrichment as required. I'll omit that for now. Cow flaps closed. I'm going to leave them as is, which is about a quarter open. Altimeter, I checked already. It was set. It's set to Jacksonville International's altimeter. Nav GPS switch. It's INOP at the moment anyway. Fuel selector valve, both. I'll leave it on the right side for now. Wing flaps as desired. Trim set. Approach briefing not required. Before landing checks will be the next checklist. Alright, destination airfield has no weather services, so what we're going to have to do is fly over the airport and try to get a look at the windsock. Okay, this is King's Ferry off of our left side. As you can see, fuck all there. Seems to be some sort of a settlement right here. Right there with that bend, that little S-turn, that's King's Ferry. IRL, there's a few houses and whatnot there, or is that it? No, that's it. There's a few houses and whatnot there, so it's actually got King's Ferry in the wrong position. It's closer to there than it is there, but whatever. Nothing's perfect.
Mike, contact Jacksonville Center on 126.75. 126.75. Hyper 7, Mike.
GPS is not functional, so we're going to have to find the airfield the hard way. And this airfield can be a bit of a pain in the butt to find, because it's out in the middle of bloody frickin' nowhere and it's not very big. IRL, you really don't see it till you're practically right over it. It's a little easier to find them in flight sim, however. Alright, this is Folkestone we're coming up on here, which is the town the airport is in. The actual location, though, it's southeast of the town, or southwest of the town, so...
Going to 123.8, Cessna 394.
123.8. I need to actually cancel flight following once I see the airfield.
Cessna November 50394 with you, 2700. Cessna November 50394, Jacksonville approach, roger, altimeter 3019er.
There it is, right over there. Alright, that's the airfield.
Cessna 953, contact Jacksonville approach on 124.9er. Jacksonville approach, Cessna 394, cancel flight following. Cessna 394, Jacksonville approach, cancellation received, squawk 1200, frequency change approved.
Alright, they told me to squawk 120, bird, small bird. They told me to squawk 1200, but I'm going to stay on my current transponder code, which they actually do, IRL. They'll just tell you to keep your transponder code, or at least sometimes they do. Sometimes they tell you to squawk VFR. Other times they'll tell you just keep your transponder code until you land. If you're going full stop, they'll do that. Alright, we're going to descend down to 2,000 feet now. I'm going to bring fuel tanks to both. Half cock the cow flaps, mixture in full rich. Landing light on, taxi light off. We'll just descend down to 2,000 feet. I want to fly over the airfield. Get a look at the windsock. If I look on my NOTAMs, there are no NOTAMs found for 3 Juliet 6, so there's no NOTAMs at the moment.
Jacksonville approach, Cessna November 857, Hotel Mike, IFR to Gwinnett, ready to copy. Cessna November 857, Hotel Mike, is cleared to Gwinnett Airport as filed. Climb and maintain 6,000. Departure frequency is
Traffic pattern altitude is 1,000 feet above the ground, which is 1,068 feet on the altimeter.
Cessna November 857.
Runway 36 is a right traffic pattern,
Climb and maintain
so keep that in mind when we pick a runway.
123.8, squawk 0544.
Their CTAF frequency 122.9. 22.9er. Alright, so nearest airport list. Select runway. We're going to overfly the airfield first. Now you can see this airport. We came at it from a good angle, but you can see, just look at how close the trees are to the runway. And you can see how this would be a pain in the butt to find. Oh joy, looks like the winds favor... Oh crap. Oh, okay, that looks like about a 10 knot wind, and it is a crosswind. Since it's a crosswind, we'll take runway 18, which will be slightly less problematic. Alright, so we need to enter the left pattern for runway 18. We'll do that by turning south. We'll select runway 18. Actually, we're going to turn and fly east since we're over the airfield. We'll fly east for about a mile. Descend down the traffic pattern altitude. Which is 1,068 feet. I'll just say 1,100 on the altimeter. And US 1 is roughly a mile. It's actually a bit closer to 3 miles, but whatever. We'll fly till we are over US 1, then we'll turn right and enter the pattern for runway 18, which is a left traffic pattern. Okay, before landing checklist, seat backs are upright, seat belts check locked, fuel valve both, mixture is full rich, propeller is at high RPM. Let's go push that in. Landing and taxi lights. Landing light is on, taxi light not required. Autopilot is off. And that is before landing checks complete. Alright, we are over US 1. So go ahead and position this way. Make a 30-degree turn towards the south. Traffic off our 12 should be no factor. I think he's the one that was climbing out of Hilliard. Alright, let's fly this way for a bit. And I can't even see the runway. Alright, I see it. That's the pain in the butt with these boondocks airports like this. You can really easily lose track of them. So look how hard that is. That's the airport right there, and you can barely see it. Alright, we'll just fly south for a little bit. We'll go ahead and announce our position. We're a full stop.
Davis traffic, Cessna, November 50394 is 3 miles east, 1,100, inbound to land. Runway 18.
Do a slight turn. We'll set this to runway 18's heading, which is 180. Wind was coming out of the east, I think, when we saw it. So, I'm just making guesses here. But yeah, the wind looked like it was coming out of the east. Alright, set throttle to 2200 RPM. We're at 1100 feet, traffic pattern altitude. I don't see any airplanes in the pattern, so we're good. I don't hear anyone. Haven't heard anyone on the radio either, so don't think there's anyone else out flying here today. Oh, stay at traffic pattern altitude. I'm gonna go ahead and turn onto the downwind leg. We are downwind. Give a crosswind correction angle. Alright, we are parallel the numbers now. So throttle out to 15. Let it pitch down. Flaps 5. And we'll announce turning base here in just a second. Alright, let's turn base.
Davis traffic, Cessna, November 503-904 is on base, runway 18.
Next notch of flaps. Turn on the final.
Davis traffic, Cessna, November 503-904 is on final, runway 18 to land.
Oop, overshot it a bit. Alright, flaps, yeah, flaps full. Go ahead and drop flaps full. We want 62 knots. So let's pitch up. Get that 62 knots in here. Because this is a short airfield. Runway is only 2,500 feet long. And we got a crosswind to contend with. Alright, crosswind correction out. Come on, get on the ground. Flaps up. Alright, we'll take it all the way down to the end and turn around. Alrighty. Just turn around in the turning around bay here. Some airplane 5 miles over there. Alrighty. Just need the checklist next. Let's go ahead and open the windows. Clean this out. We'll go ahead and close that. Flaps are up already. Go ahead and flip off the landing and strobe lights. Alright, full back pressure as we taxi onto the grass.
Davis traffic, Cessna, November 503-904 is clear of the runway.
Alright, after landing checks, flaps up, cow flaps full open. After landing checks complete. Ooh, hit a little rough patch there. Alright, and I usually park it in this little bit of asphalt over here next to this last runway, or that last hangar. So I'll try to get my wing relatively close to that hangar. And we'll just turn her right in here. Bring her to a stop. Right here on the grass, and we'll just push her back into the asphalt. Alright, Throttle to idle. Okay. GPS off. It's not working anyway. It's completely frozen up. I don't know what happened. Well, it just powered off. Oh no, I'm gonna turn it back on. Let's see if it works. If that's all I had to do. Because I tried that in the air. I tried recycling it and it didn't work. A2A C182. Oh my freaking god. Really? That's all I had to do? Okay, well, we know that for next time. So that thing failed on takeoff. You may have noticed it's set on the same page the entire bloody time. That's because it wasn't working. We turned onto the runway in Savannah and it just died. It froze up. Well, I just ignored it the whole time. I mean, I was VFR anyway, and I knew the route. I had my charts, so I really didn't care about that. Alright, well, while we're here, let's go ahead and set that to the VFR. Turn that to standby. Actually, it should be in the on position, shouldn't it? This is fine. So, okay, if that ever happens again, I'm just going to turn it completely off, let it die, and turn it back on. That's some bullshit right there. Alright, avionics. Lights are out, and mixture. Alright, magnetos, lights, master battery. And see, that had failed, and because that drives both the COM1 radio and the GPS systems right there. So that drives CDI number 1, which was failed the entire time. Because this pulls from ComNav 1 or the GPS. And if that's not working, neither ComNav or GPS nav is going to work here. So I was slant alpha this whole flight and didn't have to be. Whatever. Alright, let's cut this off. Close those. Set trim to takeoff position. Alright, go ahead and we'll close that. Open that. Let's let Heidi out. Open my door as well. Unplug that. Alright, securing aircraft will run in a second. Let's actually push this back into the parking spot real quick. Push it on back into the parking spot, which is right there on that asphalt piece of pavement. Cessna, looks like a Cessna 172 parked by that hangar, and a Cessna 152 parked by that one there. So that's the 172, that's the 152. Just parked in the grass over there. And we'll just put it right here on the pavement. Right there. Right, set our brakes. Stop towing. Alright, parking brake. This is securing aircraft. Parking brake set. Throttle idle. Electrical equipment is all off. Avionics off. Mixture is cut. Ignition is off. Master is off. Control lock. Go ahead and install that. I closed that, so that's good. Fuel selector off. Checklist complete. And that is flight complete. Where's my butt? Oh, it's on this side now. Alright, so we'll just do a quick flight review. Let me disconnect this. Just do a post-flight check. So, GPS failure on departure out of Savannah. We took off runway 1, and GPS completely died, but I didn't care. I was VFR anyway, so... And we just followed, essentially, between 95 and the beach. It's impossible to get lost on this route. Just followed, checking our positions, primarily with the sounds and the islands as we passed by. Flew over St. Simons, Jekyll, Cumberland avoided P-50 successfully, tracked inland, and landed here at Folkestone. Alright, so that's that flight plan completed. Go and disconnect. Actually, I wonder if we can see any wildlife from here. Does anyone see any animals? Let's see, what's the land wildlife set to? Is it, first of all, has it spawned any? Yes, it has 27 land animals in range and 10 birds in the sky. So it has spawned some. Anybody see any? Kind of hard to see from this zoom level, and I doubt they'll be close to the airport, but I don't see any. That's a shame. Let's go down to spot view, actually. Let's see if we can't see any. Just looking. No, I don't see any. Well, that's a shame. Would have been nice if there was some animals to see. Several bird encounters on the flight. Well, other than that, that is this flight complete. Go ahead. Actually, we need to stop this first, don't we? Stop that, then disconnect it, then close it. Disconnect. Alright, everyone, that's this flight complete. Hope you enjoyed it, and we shall see you next time. Take care, everybody.